Josh, one of the founders of Origin, just joined the room. I'd love to bring him up here. If he could speak about the product, because I mean, it's the middle of the day in Taiwan where he is, and I am absolutely wiped. So I would love to mute myself and give the floor to the guy that built this, Josh at Origin Protocol. I'm just going to invite him up.
Thanks for having me up here. Yeah, it's been really amazing. The launch it's really exceeded all of our expectations.
Hey, Josh, great to have you here. I have a quick question that just interests me personally,
Sure.
and that is the potential tax exposure that comes with selling NFTs. Do you have a concept in place for your clients that gives them the most efficient way not to have to pay income tax? And let me just elaborate on this thought. If you were to launch a company first, and this company buys the rights to the NFTs from the artist, and then the company sells them, maybe there is a way to see it more as a fundraising for the artist for future projects, so none of the money is lost and it can really be used to be reinvested into the creative ecosystem. Like, what is the advice you give to your clients when it comes to tax issues?
So I can't comment too much on that, unfortunately. Obviously, we encourage people to pay their taxes, but we also understand the desire from artists to optimize that and not pay a penny more than they're legally required to. It is tricky because it varies by jurisdiction and where you're based. But yeah, I think in most cases, the IRS are going to treat that as income that you need to pay taxes on. But obviously, there are lots of techniques that people have been using for a long time on how to optimize their tax exposure. And I think all of that still applies here, whether that's moving stuff offshore, setting up a trust or foundation that actually is a beneficiary of those proceeds. You really should talk to your own tax advisor to talk more about that.
Yeah, one of the great things that that crypto, I think, has accelerated is the ability to play regulatory arbitrage and to incorporate offshore in a tax efficient structure, and to be able to do things like lend money to the UBOs and all sorts of stuff like that. So I think that there's certainly a tax advisor can provide more color on this. But yeah, I don't think there's much in the way of limits. And certainly if you look at the people that bid on Blau's auction, I'm sure Josh and Matthew can provide more stats as to where the bidders were coming from. But even people like Whale Shark and 0x1b, 0xb1, whichever, we're not talking about people that are necessarily entirely US based. And when you've got a global audience like that, why not take advantage of your structure as well? I actually would be curious as to I don't know if this is something that you're willing to talk about, Josh or Matthew. What did the traffic look like? Was it predominantly US, or was it sort of a mixed bag?
It was all over the world.
Yeah.
It's people were tuning in from everywhere.
Any crazy insights you took away from that process, or anything that surprised you around it?
I think we kind of expected that the auction would really heat up in the last couple hours or so, but I think both us and Justin were definitely just blown away at just how much demand there was for the NFTs he was creating. And so yeah, we're so blessed and thankful for all the 33 winning bidders, as well as the many others that participated, who, by the way, will get a free loyalty NFT. But I think this is just the beginning. And so I think having all this important stuff happen yesterday, I think, is going to be a moment in time that we all look back on a couple years from now and just feel really, really proud about. And we're glad that we got to be a part of this process.
That's
How many?
Josh, you had that one bid that was accidental, right? It jumped from 40 to like 314,000, if I remember correctly. Can you speak on how you were able to resolve that with how quickly you did that?
Oh yeah, it went up to like 413K. We reached out to the person, and actually there was one, a bit of a learning process here. So that bid was made with the credit card, and we were very sure that that would probably not go through. Like, there's not many credit cards that can handle that, and so we checked with the person, and then we attempted a pre-auth and realized that that was not going to go through. And so, it was clearly an accidental bid, and so we just took it off the board as fast as we could. We certainly didn't want to have an incorrect bid affecting the rest of the auction.
Yeah, and our intentions there with supporting credit cards was like making this accessible to everyone. And certainly that played a big role in the start of the auction, where it was easy for a lot of people to participate because we supported credit cards. But really towards the end of the auction, it's obvious of how superior crypto is as a payment method. The finality of crypto and having the money there, it's there. And you don't have a challenge of trying to collect, over $3 million on a credit card, which is probably not going to happen. And so crypto is really enabling, for at least for this size of auction, it's enabling something you really wouldn't be able to do in traditional finance at all. You could have people like pre-wire refunds or something like that, but you wouldn't even be able to like re-up your bids. And we saw people in the last hour or two of the auction, continuing to send more funds in, add more, ending up bidding way higher than they'd originally planned. And all of that is only possible with crypto. Traditional finance wouldn't really support that very well.
Yeah, and I think I'll just add to it. I think it depends. What we wanted to do was really ensure a smooth user experience, so that both people that were crypto savvy could use the platform and not have it crash like some of the other platforms have crashed, have very smooth deposit experience. And thankfully, what we've heard from the feedback from users is we were able to do that, and they've thought that this platform has been much easier to use in many cases. But also, as Josh alluded to, we think that there's a much bigger opportunity for NFTs, even a few years down the line, right? And that's where we need to make it mainstream accessible. That's why we put the credit card bidding in place. What we learned is, for an auction where NFTs could be going for millions of dollars, credit cards are probably not an acceptable instrument. And so I think for that type of setup in the future, it'll probably be crypto only. However, something that is way more accessible is potentially like an open edition NFT offering, right? So maybe this thing is a fixed price at $50, $100, $1,000, $5,000, stuff that we commonly know credit cards can support, and then it's all about how many people want to buy this NFT in a short time period. And so that experience, I think, would be a better one for mainstream, especially as the NFT audience expands. From the whales to crypto normals, and then eventually where we would like to end up is that people are purchasing NFTs and using NFTs to engage with creators and artists and things like that, but they may not even need to know what an NFT is, right? It may just be this digital access pass, this cool digital badge or whatever it is that gives them special privileges, or it can be used to redeem the physical product, can unlock content, whatever it might be, but they don't necessarily even need to know the words non-fungible token NFT. And that's when we'll know that we really, really cracked a multi-billion-dollar opportunity for the creators, and also created new innovative ways for fans to engage with their favorite creators.
Hey, Josh and Matthew. We have a unique opportunity here with Paris, who is flirting with NFTs. She's looking into the space. She's interested. Could you guys give her each like a 1-minute pitch what Origin Protocol could do for her?
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, we'd love to hear from Paris first. Like, tell us more about, how familiar you are with NFTs and what you're looking for. Would love to hear from you first, and then we can tell you a little bit about our backgrounds.
Okay, well, I've just been looking into this for the past couple of weeks, and that's why I was on here tonight, just to learn more about this. And just throughout this conversation, I've been thinking of a lot of different ideas, whether people were saying either using, iconic items that I already own, or music or unreleased music, or even my song Stars Are Blind, or the artwork that I make paintings, which I could make into digital. So there's just so many things that I do with DJing, with music, with art, with fashion, with the simple life, even, because I heard people saying you could move, I don't know, like things that you've been in. So I was just thinking of just all the things I've been through in my life that have meaning. And I don't know, it's a lot. That's why it's just hard to really nail down exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, I could jump in with a couple ideas here. One of our big theses entering the NFT space with this launch that we did with Justin is that NFTs has mostly started out as digital art, right? Audio visual elements, they're collectibles, and I think that's a great starting point, and that does have a lot of intrinsic value, and we've seen the explosive growth of NFTs in just the past couple months, right? Hundreds of millions of dollars of NFTs sold in just that format. But one of the things that we think is an even more exciting opportunity is how do NFTs interact with, and how are they tied to things that people are already using in the real world? And we tried 3 different segments here with Justin's drop, and I think that really added a lot of value and a lot of possibilities for the creators to then interact and engage with Justin in new, meaningful ways. And so there's 3 broad categories that we focused on. So NFTs being tied to a physical product. So each of the NFTs that were auctioned off, they can be put in a redeem state. And when that happens, Justin is going to send over a special edition commemorative vinyl. He's going to sign the packaging, and that's how an NFT can be tied to a physical object. And so if you have limited edition merchandise, you want to create a new product line, that's one way where NFTs can be involved, and I think attract people that are really interested in getting these like scarce physical items. A second major category is around unlocking digital content. So with these NFTs that Justin auctioned off again, you'll be able in the next few days to be able to play unreleased tracks that he's uploading to the blau.com website. And this is pretty unique experience, right? Because usually artists spend months or sometimes years producing a finished song, and once it's finished, it's finished. Fans usually don't have exposure to the creative process and are not able to see kind of unreleased tracks. But these 33 participants will all go get a piece of that access, right? Not the entire library, but potentially 1 or 2 songs in the lower tiers, and then the platinum winner is going to get the largest collection of unreleased music. And so that's one way to think about it, but it doesn't have to be just music, right? It could be this thing unlocks the ability to view premium video content or even paid articles, something that
Matt,
is, yeah.
Matt, I just wanted to add, so the top 6 bidders basically will be also getting an NFT that we have yet to mint, but that will give them all access to any of my shows for life. So they could theoretically choose to come to one show and then resell that if somebody else wants it. That's like a mechanic that I'm quite excited about, because everyone wants to be backstage, and I think it could be really interesting to see some of these collectors use the pass. They can use it as much as they want, but it's into perpetuity. But they could also choose that they've maybe gone backstage at EDC, they've seen it, and then maybe they want to sell that access to someone else. So we're going to start experimenting with all these different things, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, sorry for rambling a little bit. Just to add on to a final point to what Justin was saying, I think a third area is just experiences, right? NFTs as access passes. Justin mentioned the backstage stuff, but also in this particular case, he's actually producing a brand new single with the creative direction and input of the platinum NFT winner. And so I think that's a very, very, very special experience. I don't know if anything like that has ever really been done before, but wow, that's history setting right there.
And as far as what we can offer from Origin side, you know, we'd love to work with you, Paris. We'd love to do a drop. We think that'd be super cool. So we should connect offline and figure out the details. But you know, some of the benefits for you, one is you get to control the experience. You saw with Justin's drop, it's on his website with his branding. You're not sending people to some third-party website that may or may not be able to handle the traffic. You know, the other platforms, I don't want to throw shade at other players in the space, but you know, staying up online with a huge amount of traffic, everyone hitting at the same time is really challenging, even for the best engineering teams out there. But our team, we have one of the founders of PayPal, first engineer from YouTube. You know, some of the best Silicon Valley engineers around, and I think that really came off with the experience that we did for Justin. You know, it's a site, we have a site that'll be able to stay up, be able to handle the traffic. And not only that, but just like the thoughtfulness of like the design, how it looks, how smooth the flows are. We've put a lot of energy into it, and we have a lot of super talented people on our team that would love to work with you and figure out, you know, what a custom drop could look like that fits with your brand and your experience.
Yeah, guys, love you all, and have a wonderful night. You've got Matt and Josh here who can speak to anything that happened. I mean, they're the geniuses behind everything that happened, and it's just awesome, guys. Like, and Clubhouse definitely played a big part of it. I thought I could take a day off. It doesn't look like I can take a day off. That's okay. We're gonna keep grinding and keep building, and that's good. So
Justin,
we
Justin, we thought it was all going to end on Sunday, but I think we're all going to be grinding for the next like 6 months, 12 months nonstop. There's no time for us to rest.
Apparently, we're doing a drop for Paris now. I'm excited for that.
Yes.
Yeah, separately, you know, Justin has been in Clubhouse talking a few times now about a potential future where you can tokenize a song and, you know, cut it up into many different pieces and allow fans to participate in the upside of that song in the future. Now, there's a lot of, you know, really complicated regulatory stuff associated with things that may look like security tokens, and there's also a lot of business and legal complexities given where the music industry right now is with labels and publishers and songwriters, etc. And so I think that's probably going to be a longer process. But I think that's also a pretty interesting innovation that should see the light of day sometime, you know, in the next 12 to 24 months. But I can see that being a hugely transformative process where, you know, early fans, like rabid fans of new artists, can, in essence, like invest in their creator's music potentially before they get hot, right? And if that artist then blows up, then these early fans are rewarded for, you know, their participation, and they're also incentivized to promote these artists wide and far because they have a cut of the pie. And so that can potentially create really, really interesting new dynamics. But again, I think it's a couple years out.
Thanks. That was awesome.
Yeah, Josh,
So I unfortunately need to drop off in the next like 5 minutes or so. But I think Josh may be able to stay a little bit longer. Yeah, any other questions people may have?
Hey, I wanted to wait and speak, but I just love how this community has come together. I really am inspired just by the way that it's beyond just creativity. Is really changing the game of what it means to actually be a creative. And there's infinite ways to design solutions throughout all industries that we're seeing. And I'm currently looking at it through a space of cyborg anthropology, where it's a lens of focusing on the interconnections between humans and technology. Since about 2017, I've been designing a constellation of space systems and Earth observation satellites with the value add of utilizing a hyperspectral and infrared camera. So I'm really looking at it from the aspect of bands of light, being able to identify different materials. With that, we're creating data training sets for climate solutions, correlated to mapping and validating the economic, social, as well as the environmental impact of the built environment. So the data will be prepared for practitioners and data scientists focused on climate solutions. So we're looking at interesting ways to mint different bandwidths through NFTs and other space applications. I've also been ideating over how this data can be utilized during the design, as well as the transition from real world assets to inform the metaverse, as well as hyper realistic environments. So I see a lot of great ideas of creativity being sparked in the music space, just as Blow has showcased yesterday. I see a lot of innovative ways to guarantee artists the ability to realize their sovereignty, as well as their intimacy with the people vested in their craft, as well as their presence. And we are also looking at physical digital art museums. I think that's going to be really special, in the future. So just here building community and always down to create the future with superheroes.
Yeah, I love that. I think I'm a technologist first and foremost, and NFTs at a technical level are very, very simple. They're just random strings of letters and numbers that are stored in the blockchain. There's not much to them at all, but it's all about the meaning that we give to them, that we add on top, and it's the community around it, and that's what gives it value. Just like with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any cryptocurrency, it's the same thing. You look at it on a technical level and you go, why are people so excited about this? But it's the stories that we create around it that really give it value and meaning. And the canvas, it's an empty canvas. You can paint whatever you want, and the world is your oyster as far as the possibilities are.
Yeah, and I think I'll just add on to that. I think one of the things that Justin did really, really well for this drop is he really engaged with the community, not just for this drop, right? He's been in the cryptocurrency space for a number of years. He's an early adopter of NFTs. He's done a couple of these, and he was really able to engage with some of the top collectors, but also the mainstream, right? His fans and things like that. And I think as a result of that, his dedication to his community and the cultivation of that over many months and years is one of the primary reasons why he was able to do such a successful drop on our platform. And so I think when other creators are thinking about this, I would encourage them to do what you guys do best, right? Create content, but also engage with those people that care about that content. And then together, what you're already doing well, do it in an authentic way, marry it now with this new NFT technology. And I think it just opens up really, really interesting possibilities. One way I like to think about it is, a particular artist or movie star may have, tens of million fans. Those fans are not all treated those fans are not all fans to the same level, right? There's going to be, the 99% that, adore you or consume your content in a certain way. And then there's going to be that 1%, right? Those super, super fans that really, really want to engage with you on a new level. And that might be a one-on-one video chat. That might be the backstage access. That might be some signed memorabilia. Lots of different possibilities how you can engage with these super fans. But these are also those super fans that when they get that engagement, when they get those special experiences, they're also the ones that are willing to pay outsized amounts, right? And so with this new technology, and your existing communities, I think it's an opportunity to help you identify who your super fans are, give them the experiences and potentially physical products or access to digital content, whatever it is that they're really, really going to love. And in return, they're going to be the ones that are going to be most willing to pay for your creativity and your hard work.